Again, you find me in nature, close to running water, a little creek behind me. Maybe you can hear. And I would like to make the final video on death and the communication with the dying, not with the dying, but with the dead, actually. As a living person can willingly contact the death by certain rhythmic drumming and special chants, as some medicine men and certain voodoo masters are doing and capable of doing, by raising the vibration of the water within the dead person's body, and the residue of water is reacting and contacting the other water, the water which is the living part of the medicine man, for example. So it can also be in certain moments possible of the will of the dead person to communicate, to make her or himself known, and even slightly and shortly visible to the living. How is this possible? Well, simply the same way as a living person contacts the dead, so the dead, the residue, the little water which is left, and each drop of water inside a corpse contains the whole memory of the life of the person, and also the emotional contacts, fears and expectations. As in the dead bodies residing water, there is the urge to once more contact, or several times more contact, the living, mainly family members and friends. This can be done. Naturally, it is for the dead person not so easy. It is easier the other way around, but in some instances of very strong character, the water which is still alive, which has consciousness, can make itself in dreams, for example, seen, heard, and communicate, ask questions, or make himself known to the sleeper, to the living person. In some cases, you can also experience in the wake state of a human that in front of you, mainly when the night falls and it is dark all around, then you can see the outline of the body of the dead person in front of you, but never in color. For example, some dead person wants, the ghost of a dead person wants to make itself known and seen by somebody. You will never experience this as a rigid, as a body which is also colored, which has, let's say, green, red, or brown colors in it, like the clothing of this dead person, which he chose, or her or she chose to wear at that given moment. This dead person will, in most circumstances, only appear in white, because the color is an additional effort which can only be shown by certain living people who are intact in their physical being. As you all know, life and consciousness is the basis of all what you see around you. So you will also understand that if somebody is dead and there's only very little consciousness left, the possibility of making himself appear is diminished to the minimum. So you will see only, if at all, a dead person has the effort, the strength to show him once more. You will only see him in a very pale and faint light color, and only for a moment, maybe 2-3 steps, or standing in some corner, he can make himself or herself seen. This happens. Much more often it happens that a dead person is appearing to their relatives in dreams or in moments of meditation by just speaking very faintly into the ear of the living. This is possible. So if you remember that all the consciousness is water, is contained in water, then you will also understand that a communication of both waters, the water of the living and the dead, is in general possible. But only in very rare cases the dead is able to have a clear understanding of the technique which is needed in order to bind the remaining water together so it can make a strong enough impact to appear in the dimension of the living. Rudolf of Germany.